Next problem to come for the classical approach, problems in intersample choice. These problems were already Strauss 56 wrote about it, and Taylor 81 had night experiments and further insights. Imagine the following choice situation. Either you get €100 right now, or you wait 4 months, but then you get €5 more. What do you prefer? You can pause the video, make up your mind. So I'm going to tell you now what the majority of people choose. The majority of people prefer to get the €100 immediately right now. They don't want to wait 4 months. Now, second situation. Imagine you must choose right now that either you get €100 in 4 years, or you get €105 in 4 years and 4 months. What would you now prefer to have? You can make up your mind, maybe pause the video, because I will tell you now what the majority preference is. Most people prefer to get the late payment, the late larger payment. But these two are the majority preference. Maybe many of you have the same preference also. And I'm going to claim a bit that these are irrational preferences. I must say, I must make a big ceteris paribus condition, more than in other things we discussed. I must assume that in these 4 years, nothing relevant changes. You didn't really become a different person. You didn't receive new information, that money has a different meaning for you or anything. So a big ceteris paribus condition must be made. But then the choices, I will argue, are probably irrational. Surely, maybe you can already see that these choices, the majority choices, are a violation of stationarity, because they consider the same, the outcome streams below here are the same as above, only delayed by 4 years. Stationarity says delaying consumption should not matter for preferences. So this is a violation of stationarity. Now I'm going to discuss the rationality status. I'm going to introduce an auxiliary intermediate decision situation for it. The two situations that we have seen so far, in both cases, your decision was right now. Your preference was right now. In the lowest situation, consumption was 4 years later, but still decision right now. That's different in the intermediate situation. In the intermediate situation, at this moment, at the present, you decide nothing, and there's nothing about your preference I'm going to ask about. In the intermediate situation, I'm going to simply wait 4 years. Then in 4 years from now, I'm going to go to you. And then at that moment, I tell you, look, what would you rather have? I can give you €100 right now. Or if you wait 4 months, I give you €105. What would you like most? What do you think is the best thing for you to do? That choice I'm going to present to you, and we're going to discuss it a bit. And okay, so I'm trying to argue that these common preferences are irrational. So first, let us assume, and I'm talking about the majority preferences. And maybe if they are yours, then it's nice to me for the discussion. Anyway, assume that this person who has the majority preferences says, oh, Dan, in this situation, 4 years now, I would choose the immediate €100. I would prefer that to waiting 4 months. That, I'm going to argue, is quite irrational, cannot be, because if you compare the middle and the low situation, the choice options that you are choosing from are the same in the sense that in both cases, in exactly 4 years from now, you get €100, or in 4 years and 4 months, you get €105. It's the same object in that sense that we're talking about. So I would say what is best for you is best for you. And the only difference here is the moment I ask. It's the same option in calendar time, only I ask you your preference in a different time. But I think what is best for you is best for you. In the same way, if I ask you what is 2 plus 2, the answer should depend on what is right or not, and not on the time when I ask you. Also, what is best for you is best for you. It should not depend on the time when I ask, given the big ceteris paribus that no information change or anything came in those 4 years. Therefore, I think people who say here now, they are irrational, given that they choose that thing. Now let us look at the other situation that a person with these two majority preferences says, oh, I prefer to wait in 4 years from now. That is to a lesser extent problematic or irrational than what we discussed a moment ago, but still it's weird, to say the least, because I think if we go in 4 years from now and nothing essential changed for the person, in 4 years that person is the same kind of person as the person is now. Then in 4 years that decision situation looks the same as the decision situation right now, either immediate 100 or 4 month delay for 5 years or more. So then it's still strange that the person here is choosing differently than here. So that also looks like an irrationality given all that ceteris paribus. Anyway, there have been debates about it, many. Some people can find this rational. But there have also been, of course, as in the previous examples, the behavioral approach has done a lot to investigate what is going on. And one thing, and maybe you remember that with the Allais paradox, many people say a probability of 0.20 or 0.25 doesn't matter much. Then I said the behavioral approach has discovered that people cannot distinguish between probabilities sufficiently, especially in that range. Something like that may be going on here. And people think about 4 years and 4 years and 4 months. They are too much saying, oh, that's the same, that doesn't matter much. They don't realize that these 4 months later here are in a way the same as the 4 months later here. The 4 year waiting time is confusing. People are misperceiving time. That may be an explanation for what is going on here. Another explanation may be a presence effect. If people imagine, oh, I can have 100 euro right now, they already imagine a hamburger and whatever they will buy from it, and they just, the water starts coming on them, the other senses, they become emotional and direct, and they don't do the wise thing. That's the immediacy effect. And I could hear that if in 4 years from now they have the same immediacy, they do it. But if we ask it like this, they don't have the immediacy effect, then they behave in a more wiser manner. So that could be another explanation for the irrationalities going on. And again, there are many studies, empirical, many theories, and we will see later all kind of discount. So I already told you stationarity is violated. So you already know constant discounting is violated here. So many generalized hyperbolic discounting, all these kind of things have been investigated. And more of that is to come later. So the reaction, there have been many discussions in the field. Strauss himself already wrote about it. And so but more of that will come later. I'm now going to turn to next paradox. And I think this is the most fundamental problem for all of the behavioral approach, this empirical problem coming now, the preference reversal. But that will be in the next recording. I'm stopping now.